Pirate possesses the ability to knock back Reds at a 30% chance at 270 range. Early game as a ranged attacker, this is alright, but quickly he becomes, again, more neutral than anything. Level 20. All he gains is a slight HP and DPS increase. Aside from that, he's effectively the same, just with a far worse attack animation. Level 30. Dread Pirate gains a substantial buff to his HP, going from 4.2k to 15.3k between forms, 300 range, and a 40% chance to knock back Reds. Overall, he's still just alright for what he does. Knocking Reds back isn't really the kind of skill you look for when you have to fight them, especially since there are so many other better ways to deal with them, be that by knocking them back with other units or simply using other abilities against them. Dread Pirate Catling Maxed. With 50.6k HP or 16.9k HP per his 3k Bs and 1.6k DPS, he sure does exist. The other most interesting thing about this unit are his talents, as they basically change up his role. He gains a 100% survive chance, a 70% slow resistance, and wave immunity, which was intended to make him a wave immune secondary meat shield. Versus Reds. None of these talents really change what he already does aside from making his survivability better, unless we're talking about Berserker Corey. It lets Dread Pirate survive his stage-wide wave and Berserker Corey at 5 speed and 160 range versus Dread Pirate's 300 range and 40% KB chance, easy stackability, wave immunity, and high attack speed makes him a perfect candidate for keeping Berserker Corey away forever. But outside of this unique interaction, he might only be useful against Toucan, though due to his 240 range and 10 movement speed, it's less dependable. Versus General, don't do it. Look, a 300 range attacker isn't enough to push me from using them. It's just the fact that his DPS is so pitiful. DPS like this is only acceptable if that's their standing range and they have an LD range of 275 through 500-ish, like Bubble or something. Versus Waivers. As a secondary waving meat shield, they'd probably be pretty good. 300 range is comfortable enough to probably be less than your ranged units, and his 50.6k HP with 3 knockbacks gives him some nice survivability for his sorta awkward cost of 510c. Plus, even if a Waver somehow one-shots Dread Pirate Catly, he has a 100% chance to survive, so at the very least he's gonna survive 2 hits. Obviously I don't have Catly at this level, but I can't imagine him as anything other than a solid anti-wave meat shield that'd be powerful when used in tandem with normal anti-wave meat shields and or anti-wave attackers. Plus his low DPS might become noticeable for chipping Waivers down, though that might be stretching things. Is he solid? Probably. I feel like more than other cats on this list, thinking about how good he'd be at maximum abilities is way more assumption based, as this is a pretty unique role that not many other units have, so I don't have much to reference from.